So we're coming in through for today with Frontier Opening Bell, Wednesday, the 8th of February. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Just a very quick rundown, as always, of our Tuesday's trading day. The BRVM composite at 201.12. That's upside of about 11 basis points. The BRVMs continue to cruise around the new psychological reading of that index. The Egyptian market below the 17,000, but holding it a little bit, a strong roughly 2% reading on the EGX30 on Tuesday on the news that the government of President El-Sisi is looking to offer some state-owned enterprises onto the market, and the rules on securities listing is being adjusted by the Egyptian Stock Exchange. In markets, investors, both local and foreign, are optimistic and enthused about these new listings that will come on the EGX to deepen the market and provide a further array of investment opportunities and assets for investors. So that's one good news you need to look out for when you look at the North African market, in particular in Egypt. The Nairobi stock market down by roughly 1%, Nigeria down by 0.13%, and the South African GSE down by 0.06%, just few notches off the 79,000 level. So I'm taking that straight to East Africa, where some of the big stories coming through. The Uganda Central Bank has held interest rates steady at 10%, looking to ease inflation further in one of East Africa's biggest economy. And Central Investments listed on the Nairobi bourse has opened 66.5 million share buyback window after shareholders' approval. The International Finance Corporation, which is the private sector lending arm of the World Bank, is granting $35 million loan to Raw Bank of the DR Congo to support small and medium enterprises in one of Africa's biggest economies, and that's it. Kenya's government under William Ruto, President Ruto, is tweaking his 2022-2023 budget expenditure and deficit projections in the new supplementary budget is now being delivered to the parliament. And trade deals negotiations between the U.S. and Kenya is being has resumed after initial hiccups. We're now looking at how William Ruto's administration in Kenya will deal with Washington, with Joe Biden's administration. That's across East Africa. Let's step into West Africa and take a look at a couple of news making the headlines. Nigeria's central bank is selling about 270 billion naira worth of treasury bills today at the primary market auction. Last week, the rates went significantly lower. 90-day treasury paper was selling less than 1% at that treasury auction. We'll see how the market will look like. There's still a whole lot of liquidity in the financial system on the back of the exchange, new Naira notes coming through and exchanging for the older notes of the three higher denominated currencies, which, of course, the deadline is this Friday. We're just about 48 hours to the deadline, February the 10th. And Veritas Capital Assurance, listed on the Nigerian Exchange Group, is reporting a gross written premium up 54% in the final quarter of last year, while the Ghana stock market posted a bearish performance last year and in January this year on the back of last year's very crunching period for the exchange of bonds locally for investors, several talks with the IMF, the currency decline for the CD, and inflation heading to the skies. All of that still impacting the market into the new year as government shifted deadlines for the local debt swap, but that's now being resolved. And the securitizing of $3.3 billion borrowings from the Central Bank of Ghana by the Akufo-Addo's administration, all that's now being resolved. Stopping into February, the Ghana stock market has seen a few gentle upside on the all-share index. And Senegal's Economic Development Bank has launched its own Islamic branch, while Cote d'Ivoire reported a negative gap of about 59 billion CFA franc in tax mobilization revenue. And as everyone is short of revenue these days, it's all a bit of this coming in through the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 and 2021. So let's step into Southern Africa and look at some big stories from South Africa. Sasol, which is the energy giant, is expecting its half-year profits to double on higher oil prices that we've seen last year, in particular since February, when Russia invaded Ukraine. and provided a fillip to the upside for oil prices. And South Africa's cement-making giant PPCs is looking out the sale of a Zimbabwean unit for about 3.5 billion rand. While Zimbabwe's half-year 2022 bank loans jumped 114%. That's a look back into that second half of last year. The Angolan government is looking at the state-owned diamond miner in Diama to be listed overseas on overseas foreign exchange. And again, look at selling about 5 to 10% stake of that and list that on foreign markets, get some cash in and try to stabilize the fiscal position of one of Africa's biggest oil producer. So, what's taking place in North Africa? Yes, Egypt is looking to cultivate about 750,000 feeders of oil plants to provide oil locally. That's by the year 2024. In the meantime, I talked about the FRA earlier, the Financial Regulatory Authority, which is your Securities and Exchange Commission version, if you want to put it that way, rejigging the listing rules around securities to allow those state-owned enterprises coming through. It's going to be a bunch of them that the Assistance Administration wants to offload it on the Egyptian boss. Morocco, Turkey, and Tunisia are looking to receive more than 300,000 tons of Russian diesel as Russia's looking for friends around the world to try and escape EU oil embargo and a price cap that came into effect on February the 5th. That was last Sunday. And Germany's and Morocco's trade volume was about 6.9, roughly 5 billion euros for the full year 2022. And that's part of the economic data coming through from the year just behind us. And that's the show for this Wednesday, the 8th of February. I am Bosin Amafa. You can watch this show again on our website at frontafricareports.com. You can subscribe to the video and other shows that we do on a regular basis on Front Africa Reports. That's on YouTube. Subscription is free. And of course, you can check in through our various social media handles. Follow, and we would like to hear from you. Bye for now. Have a great day, everyone.